Hey guys, I'm back and better than ever. It's Paige with Diaries of a 20-something, of course. I'm back with a fresh episode and I'm really excited about today's guest. You guys know I've always been about dating content. That's basically how I make my living. And over the last couple months, I found someone who's deeply in those trenches with me. Her name is Kristen. She is a New York City-based influencer and has also become one of my best friends over time. She's been crushing it with her own stories and her own takes on the dating culture today. Dating in New York City is its own kind of wild. It's chaotic, it's fun, and it's draining. Plus, I think when two different creators that experience the same kind of issues, when they sit down and talk about it, it just makes it fun. So if you're dating in New York City, thinking about dating in New York City, or just are here for the mess, you're gonna want to stick around because Kristen is here and she has stories to tell. And we have been put through the ringer, so let's get into it. So here's Kristen.
Okay, so hi, I'm Kristen. I am from Houston, but I moved to New York in November. I moved to New York because New York has just always been the dream. It's always been the best city ever. So I had to live here. Duh. I work for a PR firm now. But I got into content creating around, I'd say October of last year. I just decided that I wanted to be a content creator and I just started posting.
She's doing amazing, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I just started posting and things gained traction and I just started running with it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, the more I post, the more I wanted to post. And so now it's something that I do for fun as well as whatever.
You're making money from it now.
A little bit. Yeah.
So me and Kristen met at a influencer event for Breeze, which is a new dating app. I also met a boy there, but we'll get into that later.
Next question.
When you saw me, because I don't remember who saw who first.
I think I approached you. I think you guys were, because I went to this event alone.
My mom was there with me.
And I went to this event alone and I was really nervous to go alone. And so I saw you and your mom and some other girls sitting on the bench.
Yes.
And you were all in really cute outfits. And so I was like, okay, this is my moment to break into their conversation.
Yeah.
So I comment on everyone's outfits and then I end up sitting down and the rest is history.
Yeah. And I feel like there was a moment with both of us where we both realized that we made dating content because I don't remember if you asked me or if I asked you, but there was a moment where we both realized that we both make dating content.
I remember right when I walked up, the other girl that was sitting was like, well, what's your niche? She was like, I'm so-and-so. Paige is the modern day Carrie Bradshaw. What are you? And I was like, I'm the modern day Carrie Bradshaw. I was like, I don't know what to say. I was like, that's my
you both are.
I feel like Carrie Bradshaw. I don't know what to say. That's my thing. Her retweet. I don't. I was like, okay. And so that was when I was like, wait, I make dating content too. Yeah. I exploit my dating life for views as well.
Exploit my dating. No, literally, literally, that's the word. Exploit it. For me, New York City was always the dream. As you guys all know at this point, the dating content happened on accident. I was always posting here and there throughout college. And when I moved here, I didn't really have much friends. I moved here with no friends. I was trying to are you okay? She's panting a lot. I was just trying to stay busy. I was I don't really have any friends yet. Let me just try to find a husband at least. So I was dating for actually months before I started posting about it. And then I remember I posted this one video. I'm gonna put it in here. Get ready with me for a first date. Tonight, I'm going on a date with a guy from Hinge. We've been chatting for a couple days. I don't know. He gives very much golden retriever vibes, and I feel like that's low-key what I need in a man. I feel like I myself am very dark feminine energy, and I feel like I need a golden retriever man to kind of balance me out. Keep in mind, guys, I literally swore off dating in men literally a week ago. I just have a good feeling. I can't blame a girl for trying, right? This weird pimple on my lip, and it looks like I have herpes. Don't, I swear. I actually just recently kind of got my heart broken, guys. Not for real. Thought it was for real, but I was only sad for 2 or 3 days and now I'm back at it. So that is why I've been MIA. I've been going through some things. I haven't been on a first date in probably a month and maybe 2 months at this point, which is kind of crazy for me. Why not get back into the dating scene? I have gotten so good at first dates. I did a video a little bit ago, Get Ready With Me, talking about how I went on 29 Hinge dates in 2 months. I have gained so many skills. I am a pro at first dates. I really am. Relationships in general, absolutely not. But first dates, I'm fantastic at. They're just like so fun. Like I never even get nervous to go on them. Everybody was always telling me like, oh, like dating sucks, like first dates suck. Like out of all the dates I've been on, I have not had one bad first date. I think honestly the reason is because I'm just fun. I'm not trying to sound cocky when I say that at all. I'm just like saying like I'm a really fun person to be around. Kind of like the life of the party vibes. It's really hard for me to not have fun like anywhere. I'm honestly really excited for this date tonight. I feel like it's going to be better than most dates. The texting has been so good and I just feel like if the texting is good, the date is normally good. And it's funny actually, I went to University of Florida, if you're aware. If you're not, now you are. And he went to Florida State, so it's a fun little rivalry, I guess. I'm in. Self-tan today. So I'm just really feeling like very reborn right now. Eyeliner like always. Anyway, we're going to this place called Stingray Cocktail Lounge. I've only ever been to once on a date actually like months ago. This was before like all of my crazy Hinge dating. Before I was dating like multiple people at the same time. Then we set. Anyways, bye. Mwah. It just gained so much traction. And from then on, I was like, okay, people are really interested in following along on my dating journey and seeing who I end up with and why I don't end up with people and this, and that. And like, people just got really invested.
Yeah, for me, it's like kind of a similar story. Like, moved to New York. New York was always a dream. I also didn't know anyone before I moved here.
Yeah.
And so I told all my friends before I moved here, I was like, I'm going to move here and date the whole city.
Yeah.
And that was like literally my plan. I was like, I want to go on a date with every eligible bachelor in the city.
Yeah.
And so I like hopped on the apps immediately the second after I got here and started dating. Then I like kind of quickly was like seeing one person regularly. So then I kind of stopped dating. And then that ended. And like out of spite, I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to go back to dating the whole city. And then I kind of same thing, like randomly one day just posted like, I'm going on a date. Here's my outfit. Is going on a first date on Valentine's Day crazy? I hope not, because this is my outfit for it. And I'm running late, so I have to go. I love you guys, and I hope you guys have a wonderful Valentine's Day. And it did really well, and everyone wanted to know, like, how did the date go? How'd the date go?
Who was the guy?
And it happened to be Valentine's Day weekend. And I had the dates lined up Valentine's Day weekend. I had a date Friday night, Saturday morning, and Sunday night. So I had like back-to-back dates. And so I posted the Friday night OOTD, and everyone was like, oh my God, how did it go? How did it go? How did it go? And so Saturday morning, I was like, I guess I'll post an update.
Yeah.
But then I was going on another date. So I posted an OOTD and then people were like, wait, how did the first date go? Like, what happened to the first guy?
Yeah.
And so then I posted like a few updates and it just did so well. I did so well with those videos that I was like, oh, the people kind of care. The people like, the people are entertained, if nothing else. So I was like, I'm going to run with this and just keep posting it. And it just kind of happened naturally. It was just like leaning into what people cared about. So.
Right. Yeah. And I feel like that's the thing with content. Like, you're going to post like what you want to post at the end of the day, but are going to lean into the things that work.
100%.
And dating
works.
It's always a hot topic.
It is because we're in the trenches out here. Dating in New York is the worst. We're in the trenches out here. And I think the people like to see
SOS.
Other people in the trenches. SOS, this is our call for help.
No, like I'm sure you do too, but I have so many people in my comment section that like live through me.
Yes.
Live through my dating experiences. You know, and like when I'm shattered about a guy, they're shattered for me.
They might be more invested than I am.
Right?
They're like, how did it go with the guy? And I'm like, what guy?
I'm like, which one?
Like, who? I don't even know who you're talking about.
Which one? Like, that's why I started giving them nicknames. Like Google Man,
important.
Mr. Hinge Man. Now on to the next one, which is the new guy, Jersey Man. We'll see if by the time this airs, it's still
Jersey Man's
happening.
Still here. I just feel like I haven't since dating in New York, I haven't dated a man consistently enough to be like worthy of a nickname.
I just do it for content purposes. Like if I know it's gonna make it to date number 2, I give him a nickname. And the only reason I gave Jersey Man a nickname is like, yes, we technically haven't been on a date yet.
You went on like half a date.
We were on FaceTime for 4 hours last night. So he is a person.
And I think I think that constitutes as like at least half a date. You've been on at least half a date.
But that's why I give a nickname, you know, because when I refer to Google Man to my followers, they know who I'm talking about. You know?
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, that guy that I went to dinner with 6 weeks ago. They're like, which one?
Exactly. Like,
I'm like, you know the one.
It's only the consistent ones that get a nickname.
Yeah.
And the ones that I actually like get a nickname. you know?
It feels very like Alex Cooper, Mr. Sexy Zoom Man, you know? And now they're married, so it works out.
No, yeah. So maybe we're onto something
Maybe we're
here.
onto something.
You're from Houston.
Yes.
Which is also a big city.
Yes.
How is dating different here than in Houston, if at all?
Yeah, no, I feel like it's very different. I feel like one of the big things is like it's dating is a numbers game. And I just don't feel like there were as many people. Well, one, I mean, there's not as many people in Houston, but two, I just don't feel like as many of them in my age range were dating. You know, the South is very different. A lot of people, I'm 24, a lot of people at 24 are married, having kids on purpose.
Right.
Like, the South's very different. So like at 24, I just feel like I felt like the group of eligible bachelors was so much smaller than it is here. Every 24-year-old's an eligible bachelor here.
Right.
And so I feel like there was that. And then also I feel like here if you match someone on an app, like very quickly you're going on an actual date.
Right.
Whereas I feel like in Houston, you were pen pals. Like I was chatting with these guys for forever. And then they might maybe take me on a date, but then like we go to some random weird lame spot. Whereas like here, 6 minutes after I match, he's booked a reservation at like
literally.
a fancy restaurant.
Literally.
And I don't know like why, like I can't explain why that difference, but I do feel like it's very different. I feel like dating is easier here. I feel like maybe a relationship is harder here because I do think that like men in New York maybe even people in New York have like a very like grass is greener kind of mindset where there's so many people that they're like, oh, maybe there's something better out there. Right. So I feel like relationships are harder, but dating I think is easier.
I would agree with you. I think that's a really good point. Like dating is easier, but relationships are harder. Yeah. I wasn't really actively trying to date when I was home, but when I would go on Hinge at home and if I would match with somebody, I would either never get any kind of conversation or it would be like you said, like just like pen pals. Like people are so eager to take women out here. Men, I mean, like men are so eager to take women out to nice restaurants here. Like it is like an immediate thing. It's like, okay, we match. We maybe have like a short little conversation just to like see where our heads are at. And then it's like, when are you free for dinner?
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's immediate almost. Like,
I agree.
It's so easy to date here.
It is.
But, you know, as somebody who's...
the average quality of a man here, I would say, is probably lower than the average quality of a man in Houston. So like, yeah, it's easy to date, but it's easy to date losers.
Yeah, for sure.
Does that mean to say?
Or, yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's just so many different types of people here. Yeah. Like, you're either dating somebody who is, like, one of those, like, startup guys that, like, really doesn't have a job, but, like, has a suspicious amount of money. And, like, you're just trying to figure out, like, where, like, what's going on here.
What is your inconspicuous source of income? And how do you afford that West Village apartment?
No, like, actually, like, what's going on here? Like, what am I missing? You know?
What does the IRS know that I don't? What doesn't the IRS know? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I think that's the right question. What doesn't the IRS know about men in New York?
Yeah. I think the answer might be a lot.
Because I swear to God, there are so many men in New York City that I have been on dates with. And you know, it's always a question when you're dating somebody and you're like, what do you do for a living? Do you like your job? Like, just tell me more about it. And it's almost like they say so much but say nothing. So like, you don't even know what they do. You're not even sure if they know what they do.
They've mastered the art of talking in circles for sure.
Yeah.
They're like
the art of talking in circles.
They give you this whole explanation of your job and you're like, so like, do you have a job? Like, I'm not really sure. Do you dilly-dally all day? Like, I'm not positive.
No, like, actually. Like, there's just multiple, like, different characters that you'll meet in New York, but, like, it seems that none of it actually goes anywhere because of the mindset that you said. Like, there's always better. I think so many options. It even happens for me. You'll be like dating a guy and then like I'll get a bunch of Hinge matches and I'll be like tempted to look, but I'm like, no, like I shouldn't. And then like I look and then I like start flirting with a guy and then there he goes out the window, you know?
Yeah.
But it's like,
you're like,
none of them last.
Like, are you more excited? Like, I feel like it's so easy to be more excited about the possibility of someone that it's like the devil you know situation, but I guess maybe the opposite of it.
Yeah.
Like, it's like easy to be really excited about like the possibility of someone new over the person you're actually seeing.
Right.
Especially if you've been out like once or twice with someone, like you don't have a super strong connection. And I just think there's an abundance of people in New York. And so
New York City dating is Love Island, essentially.
Literally. I'm not closed off. It's early days.
No, Love Island.
We are not closed off.
Season 7 specifically is New York City dating in a nutshell.
No one in season 7 is like really there for love. They're just there to get famous. That's actually how I feel about New York dating.
Mm-hmm.
No
New
one
York City
there is
dating
actually
is
there for
season
love.
7 of November.
They're there to try a new restaurant. I actually heard someone say once, I think this happens a lot in New York, but you get really like confused because this guy takes you out to a really nice restaurant.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, if he didn't like me, he wouldn't have spent $300 on dinner.
Right.
And I actually heard a man say once that like they actually do that whenever a man wants to try a new restaurant and he doesn't want to go alone. He just like goes on the apps, finds someone, takes them out to dinner, and they don't feel bad about it because they wanted to try that new restaurant.
That's like Google Man. You know, we went on a first date. The bill was nearly $500, and I found out he had a girlfriend. But we're friends now, me and his girlfriend.
Oh, I thought you meant you and him.
No, but like, you know, I was so shocked.
Yeah.
Because I was like, how are you?
How do you just have $500 to drop on a random date?
How are you just going to drop $500 on something that you don't like actually see yourself like investing in? You know what I mean?
$500 is an investment.
Like that's money to drop.
That's a literal investment.
He worked for Google. He worked in cybersecurity.
So he had money.
He definitely made money, but like still like, do you not know the value of a dollar? Like $500 is a lot of money.
The fact that men will spend that on one night and it's not even going anywhere. That's just a fun Wednesday for them. What the heck? What?
Our date was on a Wednesday.
Of course it was! Wednesday is date night. I don't make the rules. In New York, Wednesday is date night. Wednesday is first date central.
No, yeah.
If you're at a restaurant, you see a couple and it's a Wednesday night, they're on a first date.
I agree with that.
I'm not going out with a man on a Friday or a Saturday. Those are for my girls.
Yeah. Like I'll go on a date on a Friday or Saturday if I don't have any plans, but like that's rare.
Thursday is like second or third date territory for me. We're not going on a first date on Thursday. I'm not wasting a Thursday because controversial. I think Thursday is the best time of the week to go out. And so I'm not wasting a Thursday.
Like honestly.
I love Thursdays, but I'm not wasting a Thursday on a first date. I'll do a Thursday like second or third date situation.
What do you think about a first date on a Saturday night?
Absolutely not. Because
I've done it
multiple reasons. One, I probably have plans with my friends and every time I'm going to pick my friends over some
right, but
guy.
if you didn't have plans.
Two, why do you not have plans on a Saturday night?
I mean,
like you should be, part of that is like the kind of guy that I'm looking for. I'm a social person. And so the relationship I want to be in is one where like we are going out with our friends on the weekend. And so the kind of guy I'm looking for is someone who on a Saturday is social,
right?
Does want to be with his friends, does want to go out with his friends on a Saturday night. And so on a Saturday night in New York City, why do you not have plans?
See, I never thought about it that way, but that makes a lot of sense because why are you free?
But also take my advice with a grain of salt. I don't have a boyfriend, so
we're both single. So just take all of this advice
with a grain of salt.
With a grain of salt, because I've been on probably 100 first dates since I moved here. I can count on one hand how many third dates I've been on. So just take this all with a grain of salt.
But also, there's a lot of discourse about like people going on a bunch of first dates. Yeah, I'm gonna go on a bunch of first dates because I refuse to believe. And listen, if you're one of those people who the first person you dated is your soulmate, I love that for you. That's like
go you.
But I just don't think that like the first person you meet is gonna be your soulmate.
Probably not.
And so like statistically not. And there's so many people in New York, like, yeah, I'm gonna go out with a bunch of different people. Like it's not gonna work with everybody. Right. Some people there's not gonna be a spark. Some people it's not gonna work long term. Like there's just like it's not gonna work with everybody. And so I want to have dated enough people that when I say dated, I mean like gone on a date with.
Right.
Enough people that when I like meet someone who it does work with, I know confidently like, yes, I would rather this person than anyone else out there. Mm-hmm. Because if you haven't dated anyone else, like how are you going to know that you want this person over anyone else?
All that being said, you know, like we make content about our dating lives. So there's obviously a lot to talk about with that. Okay, was dating different for you before you started making content versus after?
Yes. I think the biggest thing was that before in college, I hated dates. I used to cancel dates all the time. I hated them. And then even post-grad, I like kind of hated them. To me, they were something that was like, I don't want to say a chore, but like they were something that I had kind of a chore and I was scared of them. And I was like, well, what if it goes bad? And what if it doesn't work out and whatever? And then I kind of feel like I had a shift in a mindset shift around dating where I was like, no, dating is fun. It's a fun night where you get the opportunity to meet someone else. Literally. It's low stakes, low commitment. It's 2-3 hours of your time, and if you don't like them, you'll never see that person again.
Right.
And I think part of that shift happened right around when I started making content out of it. And I also personally, I think making content is fun. I make content because I like it and I think it's fun. That kind of all happened around the same time where I like started making content out of it and started thinking like dating can be fun. Dating doesn't have to be super serious. It's not high stakes. A first date is very low stakes. I started making content out of it and it became even more fun for me. It was like, oh, like I'm just going on this fun little dinner date with this guy. If it goes well, it goes well. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Right. Also, he here's my outfit. Also, here's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Also, I'll update you guys, let you know. Like, I think it just helped it become a lot more fun for me. And now I really genuinely think I love going on a first date. I think it's so fun because let's be real, I love to talk about myself and eat food that someone else pays for.
No. Yeah. Yep. Like, you know, you said the thing that I was avoiding saying, but
yeah, like a first date is fun.
It is. And I honestly agree with you to that sense because in college, I always thought, even like high school, college, like I always thought first dates were like so like, you know what I mean? But like, I don't know what happened. Honestly, no, I do know what happened. I was in a situationship with a guy that really just did not care about me at all. And I wanted him to care so bad. So I started dating other people, you know, and it started out of spite.
Right.
But like, then it just became fun. So that was like that was like my switch. You know?
I started dating out of spite as well.
Why are we like this?
I don't know. So my advice is date out of spite. It'll turn out fun.
Date out of spite. I literally posted this thing once and it was like, never date with another guy on your mind because you'll just end up crying, which is true because I would say the first, out of like all the first dates I've been on since I moved here, like the first like 15, 20, I came home and I sobbed.
Yeah.
Because all I wanted was
like,
for him to care. And like, he just didn't care. And it was so frustrating to me. Let yourself cry and you'll eventually just get over it. That's the
thing about getting over things is like, you just kind of wake up one day and realize that you don't care anymore.
You have to let yourself feel it though.
You have to feel it. And then one day you wake up and you realize you just don't really care anymore. And it's kind of beautiful.
Yeah. That's like how it's always been for me too. It's like, I care so much. And then all of a sudden it's like, why was I upset? Like, why am I like embarrassing myself? Like, why did I embarrass myself?
Heavy on the why am I embarrassing myself?
Like, can I like take back everything I posted on my private story?
Can I uncry? Can I uncry? Can I unpost my private story? Can I unbitch and moan to all of my friends?
Yes. Has your view on dating changed before content and after content? Like your view on it?
I would say that my view on dating has changed. I don't know that it's related to content though.
Okay.
Because I think like as I get older, I don't necessarily like, I'm not trying to get married tomorrow, but I would like to get married at some point in the next 5-ish years. It's like, I think I am dating with a little bit more intention. It still is low stakes and like it's casual and whatever, but I think there is a little bit more intention where it's like someone that I'm actually going to be in a relationship with now. But I don't know that any of that's related to content. I don't think like how I date or how I feel about dating necessarily changed when I started documenting it.
Mine's like definitely changed.
Really?
Like for sure.
Like how so?
Like because of content. Because like at first, you know, even like in the beginning days of doing content, like it was like I was only really doing it like for me. Like I was just dating, you know, I was just having fun. Somewhere around the time where I started to gain a bunch of followers from it and like when it started to feel like more like a job, dating became more of a job.
I'll agree with that.
And like and pretty much everybody I've dated in the last 2 months, I did it because like I like technically kind of had to keep up my living, like my you know, like my income, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I basically just took a month off of dating for anybody who doesn't know, but now I'm getting back into it, which is great. But I'm getting back into it now because I'm actually like excited about somebody when like before, and even like those 3 guys that I was dating and like while I was excited about them, sure, like I had to really like to keep up with the traction, you know?
Yeah. Okay. I'll agree with what you're saying there. Like there's sometimes where I'm like, I kind of want to take a break from dating. I'm like kind of a little bit over it.
But
and I feel like I almost can't. No, literally. I feel like I almost can't. I'm like, some days I'm like, don't want to think about guys for the next couple weeks. I don't really want to date, but I'm like, that's not to say it's like my thing, but like it's where a lot of people who follow me started following me from. And so I'm like, that's the content that people want. I do agree with that. I get what you're saying there, where it's like, you almost feel like it's hard to take a break because it's turned into your job. And once you turn something that you like into your job, it does change a little bit. Yeah. Even if I'm going on a date, like I can be excited about the date, but then I'm like, I have to film a video for it. And not to say that I don't like filming videos for it.
You know what I miss? I miss getting ready for a date and just listening to Britney Spears. And you know what I mean?
How am I supposed to listen to Megan Thee Stallion if I am recording a video?
Right. Like I would love to just like do a one-off, you know, and just like get ready like a normal person and go on a date like a normal person and not talk about it online. But like, God forbid it makes it to a second date.
Then everyone's like, who is this?
Like, I'm sorry. Like, you know what I mean? Because I do get ready with me, get dressed with me, and then I do a date update. So that's 3 videos for one date.
I usually do an outfit and then an update. Yeah. Because like I said, if I do get ready with me, then I can't get ready like a normal person. Yeah. And I find get ready with me is like kind of tough to edit, actually.
Really?
Maybe not tough, time consuming is the word. I find them time consuming to edit. And I just like, I have the attention span to edit a video for 15 minutes and that's it. And also I want to post things in real time. I can't get ready early enough to get the video edited before I go out. And I'm going to post an outfit video, which takes 3 seconds to edit. There's like minimal to no editing involved in it. And so I'm posting an outfit video, and then also the update usually doesn't have a lot of editing. Right. And so then it's like, oh, the get ready with me is going up after the outfit video and the update because I didn't have time to edit it before I left.
That's why I get ready so much earlier than when I have to, because even if I'm not going to have time to like space out to like listen to music and just have time for myself, I am still getting ready 2 hours before I actually have to be somewhere, because a get ready with me, you know, it takes 10 minutes to film, roughly, maybe 15 if you're pausing here and there. I normally don't, because
I usually
my makeup routine's really quick.
I usually just do one long like video.
Yeah. So, but a get ready with me probably takes me like 20 minutes to edit, and then a get dressed with me is probably another 15, depending, sometimes 20. So that's like 40 minutes right there outside of getting ready.
And you want to get the video up before you go to the event.
Before you go to the event, but you also don't want to post them back to back. You know, so it's like...
Yeah, it's a game.
It's a game.
And I'm never getting ready early enough to edit the video before I go on the date. So...
Yeah.
So people are lucky to get an outfit out of me.
I will have a date at 8 o'clock and I'll be ready at like 6:30. I'm like so serious.
No, if I have a date at 8, I'm starting getting ready at 7:15.
And hype myself up and just like have a moment for myself, try and be productive. Or like if I have like some videos I have to film for a brand deal, I'll like do it right after them when my makeup is done and stuff. Because I'll be like, okay, let me like knock out a bunch of stones with one bird. Or bunch of birds with one stone. How do people react when you tell them that you're an influencer? Like, do you tell people when you go on a date that you're an influencer and that you talk about it online?
If it comes up, yes. I'm not necessarily like shouting it from the rooftops. Like,
you don't volunteer the information.
I mean, if it comes up organically, yeah. But I'm not like walking into the date like, hi, I'm Kristen. I'm an influencer. This date will be online. Often it comes up. I don't know why recently, like often social media has been coming up. And so then people are like, oh, like you're kind of an influencer. I'm like, yeah, kind of. And then they're like, well, what do you post? And I'm like, well, dating content. Right. And I always add in like a disclaimer that I'm like, let me be clear. This content is not about the people I'm dating. It's about me going on dates. I always make, because they're always concerned. I've had so many guys be like, are you going to post my photo and my address on the internet? Like, no, it's not about you. It's about me. It's about me going on dates. It's me getting ready for the date. It's me getting dressed for the date. It's me saying if I thought it went well or not. This is not a PowerPoint presentation of the guys I'm going on dates with. Like, it's not about you. It's never been about you. Usually, like, I see them tense up when I say, like, oh, I post my dating content. And then as soon as I'm like, disclaimer, it's not about you, it's about me, they kind of relax. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Have you ever had somebody be like, I don't want to, like...
I've had guys, like, tell me... I've had guys be like, oh, just don't post my photo on the internet. And I was like, well, I was never going to, but okay, for sure.
I don't even use names.
I don't even use names. I don't even give them nicknames like you do. I literally am just like that random guy.
Yeah.
But I've never had a guy be like, oh, don't post this, or oh, that's weird, or oh, I don't like that.
I always tell people on a first date, like I always just let them know. It's not my first line, but like, you know, when you ask like, what you do for a living, social media has always kind of been a part of it because it's always been a decent amount of my income. I'm always like, yeah, like I'm an influencer. Most of the times they kind of just leave it at that and I don't really have to over explain it. You know, sometimes they'll be like, what do you influence? Like, what do you do? And I'm just like, well, I make dating content. And they're like, what do you mean? Like, I've had a lot of guys take that as OnlyFans. I don't know where they're getting dating content to OnlyFans. I don't really understand the court. Like, I don't think that is similar, but all right. And I always correct them. I do not have an OnlyFans. Anybody watching, I'm just going to put that out there right now. They'll like ask, they'll be like, what do you influence? And I'll be like, oh, I basically like date for a living. You know, some people think it's funny. It's meant to be funny. Some guys don't think it's funny. Some guys don't think it's funny at all. But to be so honest with you, like the guys that don't care at all are always way better guys. Yeah. Google Man, for example, he found out, I told him I was an influencer, and I told him that I posted about my dating life. But then like pretty much a week after, not even a week, a couple of days after he dumped me because he was getting back together with his ex-girlfriend, even though he had a girlfriend this entire time. He was like, yeah, like my coworkers found your TikTok and like they know it's about me. And
Well, how would they know that unless you were running your big mouth?
Yeah, exactly.
Unless he's running his big mouth saying, I'm going on dates with this girl.
Retweet.
How would they know?
But the thing is, I don't think his coworkers ever found it. I think he was worried that his girlfriend was going to find it because a week after that, she DM'd me and she was like, hey, I know you're going on a date with, she used his name. And that's how I knew she wasn't lying, because how
would she know his name?
Like, how would she, because I don't use that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, so like that was that one problem. And then I had one guy, Mr. Hingeman, the OG, back in like February. Like it was a long time ago, like when I first started doing this. Dated him for a while. We got to 4 dates. I really liked him. Like he wasn't my type, and then all of a sudden I was like, why are we like perfect? You know what I mean? I thought he was it, like genuinely. If you're watching this, I miss you. But no, but like for our 4th date, you know, he went so extravagant for every single date we went on. You know, like
that's so nice.
Every single date, it was so over the top and so like detail oriented. I was like, wow, like this is like really what chivalry is.
Yeah.
Like this is perfect. For our 4th date, I was like, let me cook you dinner. You know, it gets to a point because the date is at my house. I'll say that. And then a couple days later, he texts me that he doesn't want to continue things with me because all of a sudden he isn't okay with the fact that I post my dating life online.
Random.
But is it, or did he just get what he wanted and then he left?
Right.
You know, that's
that.
And when I posted that one video explaining that whole breakup thing to my TikTok followers, so tired. I don't know how I'm going to make it out tonight. Getting a bunch of questions about what happened between me and Mr. Hingeman. Here is the story time. So as you guys know, he came over on Monday and we had a great time. Nothing that happened on Monday could have foreshadowed what was going to happen a couple days later. Honestly, just one of those things, and it's really unfortunate. Starting on Wednesday, I just kind of noticed that there was something a little bit off. Nothing that he was saying was inherently bad or alluded to the fact that he was going to dump me. Like, I had a gut feeling, and my gut feeling is always right. I asked him on Thursday, I was like, are we good? Like, what is the issue kind of thing? He knows I do social media. I always mention it on the first date. Because like, listen, like I do social media. I talk a lot about dating. So if we start dating, I will be talking about you online. Just a heads up, and if they're not okay with it, I don't see them again. My favorite part about all the things that I do in life is the fact that I get to share it with you guys. He was fine with it, but I guess he changed his mind. Just sent me a whole paragraph explaining to me that he does not interested in seeing me again because of what I talk about on social media. I guess like from the outside, like the way I'm explaining it, it's just, you know, it happens, whatever. You realize you're not compatible with somebody anymore and you move on. I'll know that I'm definitely not new to dating and being dumped. I've been dumped actually 3 times this year now. So fun. But my issue with the entire thing, he could have came to me and could have said, hey, like, I'm not really comfortable with how much you talk about me online. I'm not saying that the end of that conversation would have had a different outcome by any means, because genuinely my entire brand is like turning into dating, and I honestly love it. Like, professional husband hunting is like basically what I do for a living now, and just reporting it back to you guys. I just had an issue that he, you know, made the decision and then just like let me know after the fact. Like, there was no conversation, there was no anything. That's kind of what I said to him in response. I was like, I just like don't really appreciate the way that you just throw me a paragraph out of nowhere. Like, I understand where you're coming from, but like, come on. You knew what I did for a living. You were fine with it. You literally were stalking my TikToks and saying how it was flattering. So I'm kind of confused on why it's all of a sudden a problem. This is when I get into my theory and why he's an ass. I believe that social media had nothing to actually do with it. Maybe that's a hot take. Maybe he's still stalking me. I have no idea, and I genuinely don't care when I say this. I would have said this to him if he would have answered my response, but he didn't. So now I'm telling you guys. I genuinely feel like deep down, he's just an ass and he was genuinely just playing the long game. After he got what he wanted, he let me go. I'm all for honesty. Like, you just want to sleep around, you just want to sleep with me, that's fine, but be honest about it. I don't need to be led on and blindsided by your inability to just be honest. Like, that's ridiculous to me. Like, 25 years old, grow up. I have so many options. Let's be so for real. I'm not that upset about it. Like, we all know I'm probably gonna go on another date in like early next week. I don't think social media was an actual problem. I think that was just his way of taking the easy way out. And I'm just like honestly not really cool with that. I've like had enough time to like sit with it, and I really want to figure out exactly how I feel about it before I told you guys. Apparently my career is a deal breaker. No, it's not. If he actually liked me as much as he said that he did, he would have just wanted to have a conversation with me, and just like really not into the dramatics. And I really hate when men like don't just act like a grown-up. That's honestly just how I feel about it. They were like, girl, like you dodged a bullet.
No,
you know
I agree.
I mean? Like,
I agree that if you're like weirded out by the social media, then like that's, I'm not necessarily saying anything negative about you as a person,
right?
But we are not compatible because
we're not.
You do social media full time for a living. I do social media part time. I do not need to be dating someone who has an issue with me posting on social media. My type is a man who doesn't have social media at all, and so because like as a man, why do you have social media? I'm sorry.
No, that's why I like dating guys in their 30s, because dating guys in their 30s. Like they're 30s,
not good at Instagram.
Late 20s.
Yeah.
None of them have TikTok.
None of them even
know what it means to be an influencer. They don't care.
Right. He doesn't even know. He's like, oh, you post videos online? I'm like, yeah. And then he leaves it at that because he doesn't have any follow-up questions because he doesn't have social media. He has no clue what I post.
Well, the problem with social media is like what we do. We're posting a very personal part of our life,
which is why I think it's important.
They're excited with you, they cry with you, you know what I mean? It's very personal,
which is why I think it's important to give them nicknames and to not post, because like this other person didn't. I voluntarily put my life on the internet. You voluntarily put your life on the internet. This random guy who asked you on a date did not voluntarily put his life on the internet. Right. And so I'm like very like intentional to not. That's why I say like it's not about them. I'm not voluntarily blasting them.
Like if they wanted to, me. I would.
Yeah.
You know, like that one guy I went with, he asked to be in a TikTok.
And that's a totally he's voluntarily blasting himself, but I'm not gonna blast you just for fun.
And I would never ask you to be in one of my TikToks.
Unless we were like dating.
Right. Do you have any awkward like stories where people recognized you like on Hinge or anything? Because I've been recognized on Hinge a lot, and I often get like, I'd say at least a couple times a week, I get somebody that liked me and comment, am I gonna be featured next? Like something like that, and it just turns me off immediately. Like I don't care how hot you are, if you ever like me on Hinge and leave a comment like that, immediately no. Immediately.
That's super icky. I agree.
It is.
I personally have not had that. I have had a couple guys DM me on either TikTok or Instagram and be like, saw your videos, would love to take you out, or like saw your ad for XYZ, like thought you're beautiful, would love to take you out, like something like that. But I've never had someone on Hinge be like, oh, I recognize you from social media. Oh my God,
it happens so often for me.
I've had people in real life.
I'll post one here. I took one screenshot of one. I'll put it right here for you guys.
I love that. I've had it happen in real life, which really felt like I felt like, you know, that like clip of
like somebody you were dating?
No, so just like I was in a bar bathroom and this girl looked at me and she goes, oh my God, TikTok. And so like she knew me from TikTok, but I've never had it happen with like dating. But literally when that happened, I felt like that like Jake Shane, Tate McRae thing where it's like, oh my God, you're knowing about my stuff? And then it's like, Jake, you're famous.
No,
like, literally what I felt like.
No, literally. But like it only happens on Hinge with me.
No, it's never happened on Hinge. Not yet. Knock on wood. But that would ick me out if they're like, oh, am I going to be your next video? No.
What kind of boundaries do you have with social media when it comes to dating?
Yeah, so one of the things I don't talk about at all on social media when it comes to dating is like, can I say the word sex?
Yes, you can say the word sex.
Yeah, one of the things that I don't talk about at all online when it comes to dating is like my sex life. Part of that is like my family follows me, so they don't need to know that. I also just think that like not everything needs to be said. Right. Not everything needs to be online. Also, like digital footprints are real. And also, like, while I do keep these guys very anonymous, if I go out with someone long enough, like there is a possibility that people start to put two and two together, especially like if someone knows someone or something like that.
Right.
And I just like, again, I just don't want to put them on blast like that. I think there's like a lot of value in being authentic and like letting your viewers like connect with you. I just don't know that like we don't need those details to connect. I think we can connect with all the other details.
Right.
And I think it's one thing to like maybe insinuate it a little bit. You have to draw a line somewhere. Like, and I think that's where I draw the line is like, I don't want to talk about that online.
And I agree. Like on TikTok, I do not talk about sex.
Yeah.
Like I don't. Like I've talked about it on here. as you guys know, I mean, we all know that one Friends with Benefits episode. On TikTok, I would never, because one, I get enough hate for just like,
right.
You know, like I get enough hate just for dating. I don't really need like people to know my sex life on there. Two, TikTok's community guidelines are super, super strict.
They'll remove a video for anything.
Super strict. And I am not going to put myself in jeopardy of like being banned for any reason. Three, it's just nobody's business. I already have enough people like guessing and, you know, speculating on who I'm dating, I'm sleeping with and whatever. But like the fact of the matter is like, I don't really sleep with anybody I'm dating. I don't sleep around, for the record. Well, have you ever experienced dating exhaustion? That happens to me. I'm just now getting out of that. Like, I feel like, especially when you're posting your dating life online, the exhaustion comes a lot quicker and a lot more intensely. But you're not only carrying the weight of your own dating life, you're carrying the weight of everyone else's opinions with it. It's like having like a group chat with like a billion people.
Yeah.
You know?
I think especially when you post about it, at a certain point it can turn into work. And if you're still like super into it and you're like, this is super fun.
It's like almost like burnout.
Yeah. And it's like, if you're like, this is super fun, then even though it is work, you're like excited to do it. Mm-hmm. But then if you reach that point of dating exhaustion where you're just like, I can't go on another date where we just like have awkward conversation for 3 hours, then it like literally just starts to feel like work. And so, yeah, I think like creating content out of it like adds into that dating exhaustion for sure. Listen, sometimes it's a swing and a miss, and you can only swing and a miss so many times before you're like, I need a minute.
Now it's time for a really fun segment. I asked you guys on Instagram to send us some confessional questions about dating and being an influencer or both, and you guys definitely delivered. Let's get into it, shall we?
I can't wait.
Have you ever kept talking to someone just because you had content for TikTok?
Honestly, no, because I just can't fake it. Like with a guy, if I'm not like a huge texter in general, and so if I'm not feeling it, I cannot text you any longer than I have to.
I definitely have. The one influencer guy I dated, I did like him up until the third date.
Yeah.
Like after I saw his live when he was talking shit about me.
Right, that did happen.
Yeah, that did happen. And then when
Allegedly.
I asked him about it, he fully lied to my face about it. Because the way I framed it, I was like, oh, like one of my followers DM'd me and said that you were talking bad about me online. Because like our followers, it got to the point where we like both kind of knew that we were talking to each other. And like that wasn't a lie. Like one of my followers did DM me about it. However, I also happened to watch the entire thing. He was like, what? It's like, I would never do that. I would never do that. Like, never.
And when a man says he would never do something, he's already done it.
Always do it. I was like, oh, okay. You know, I just kind of like sat with that. I was like, are you sure? Like, I gave him so many chances to
and he was doubling down.
And then eventually later in the night, I told him that I actually saw it. And I was like, listen, like, I know you're lying. He still wouldn't admit it. You're only losing more by lying to me right now. You could just tell me that you were talking crap and talking weird stuff about my mom. Like let's not pretend that.
God forbid a girl brings her mom to an influencer event.
That's what
God forbid.
That was the one that we were talking about originally. I met him there too. You know, he ended up texting me this whole spiel, right? Because I made this TikTok basically saying that I wasn't seeing him anymore, but I never used his name. Dude was fighting with me until like 4 a.m. in the morning, bro. I literally sent her all the screenshots. Keep in mind, his original live was an hour and a half long. He sent me 150 seconds of it. He's like, if you ever say anything bad about me online, I'm inclined to use this against you.
Oh, don't do it. Yeah. Oh my God.
He was like threatening her. He was like, if this affects my career, there will be consequences.
Like, first, get over yourself. Two, you're gonna use 150 seconds of an hour and a half live and try and prove that you didn't talk crap about me. You know, and he was like, I have the transcripts. I was like, send them.
Send them.
Like, no.
Right.
Okay. So you backed yourself into a corner here.
Favorite thing about the whole story was him asking if you guys can talk and Paige saying, no, I'm Lana Del Reying right now.
Because he texted me at midnight. I was like beyond, like I was about to go to bed. I like to listen to music before I go to bed, like while I wind down.
Lana Del Rey as a verb. I'm Lana Del Reying.
I use her as a verb.
And I think I'm going to start doing that. No, I'm Taylor Swifting. Number 2, have you ever given a second chance to someone you knew was a red flag just because NYC dating is hard?
Yeah, like I can't think of like a specific example on the top of my head, but I know damn well I have.
Yeah.
I feel like I've done it so many times that it's like become normalized.
Yeah, I think like because you know dating is so hard, I think I'm like a slightly more inclined to give someone like a second chance or like maybe not even like a red flag necessarily, but
the grass
like
is not
someone,
greener.
the grass is not greener. Someone who I like, I'm not sure if there's like a spark or if I'm feeling it, I'll go out with them another time just because like it is so hard to date in the city that it's like, I'll rather not, I don't want to say exhaust my connections, but just like make sure like really see is something there or not
like
before
really
I just move.
through.
Yeah, really see it through before I move on to the next person. I feel like there's someone that I've given like 47 chances to because it's like I'm comfortable around them and it's like dating in the city is so hard.
Right.
But I'm comfortable around this one person. So like you could have 47 chances, 48 if you ask nicely. Like
have you ever debated deleting your dating content because it felt too personal or exposing?
No.
I haven't either.
No, really not.
There's been like a couple times where I was like a little nervous. You know, like that one video I posted about him.
Yeah.
I was because like when he started threatening me, I was like I don't really like should I take it down? But I was like no, because I wasn't lying.
Have you ever been tempted to exaggerate a story for more views?
Tempted, yes. Have I done it? No.
Same.
Like I have been tempted because I know like if I just like exaggerated things like slightly, it would get that much more. It would get just enough more of a reaction. Any kind of engagement is good engagement. Well, like
right. Like sometimes I've had to re-record things because I like catch myself exaggerating, and then I'm like, that didn't really happen that way, and then I'm like deleting and re-recording.
You know what's really interesting?
What?
My TikTok hears about my dating life before my friends do.
Same.
I
actually,
post something, and then my friends are like, wait, who's this guy?
A lot of my friends say that they, especially because moving from Houston to New York, a lot of my friends are like now long distance friends.
Right.
And long distance friendships are hard. Like I literally have to, there's one of my friends that I literally have to Google Calendar schedule, like catch up phone calls with. It's just hard. And so a lot of my friends say, they're like, we know, like we keep up with your life and the characters in your life through your TikTok.
Yeah.
Like they all say that. They all say that they know about my dating life through TikTok.
What's the weirdest thing a follower has said about your dating life?
I think the weirdest one that I get a lot is, and I guess these aren't my followers, but these are people who live in my comments.
Yeah.
Is just people trying to imply that it's weird to be going on dates with multiple people at the same time and like slut shaming me for it. It's not. It's just, it's not weird to be going out and dating multiple people at the same time. And I say dating as in going on dates with people.
Right.
And I just, I feel like I've had a lot of specifically men in my comments trying to insinuate that one, it's weird that I'm going on dates with multiple people at the same time. And two, that's why I can't find a relationship because I'm not willing to commit. And it's like, no. Right. I'm not willing to commit after a first date. Correct. I'm not.
Who is?
And you shouldn't be either.
My thing is probably that it's mostly men, of course.
Right.
They'll say like, oh, like I'm just going on dates for content. But what they don't understand is the fact that a bunch of first dates does not gain me traction. It's the second date, it's the third date, it's the fourth date. Yeah. It's like those are the ones people want to see. People want to see progression. They don't just want to see like a bunch of one-offs.
What is one thing your followers don't know about you because you would never say it out loud? I think we have the same thing here.
Yeah. I've had a friends with benefits the entire time I've been dating. And I know if I ever went on TikTok and said that, people would lose their minds.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's true. I mean, like what would you rather me do? Like sleep with a bunch of random people that I just met or have like one consistent person for like the last nearly a year? So like what like I don't really see there's anything wrong with it. However, I know on TikTok exactly how that would go, and that's why I've omitted it.
Yeah, mine's the same. I've been in a situationship essentially since I moved to New York.
Yeah.
That I kind of know isn't going anywhere, and so that's why I'm dating on the side.
Yeah.
Not on the side, like dating outside of it.
Right.
But we're not exclusive. We said we're not exclusive, and so there's not anything wrong with it. But yeah, same. I don't talk about it because like I don't want to. I don't know. I think people would get really nasty in the comments if I talked about it. I just don't. That's just not really something I want to share with the internet. I don't know.
And whenever things are going somewhere with the guy that I'm dating, I am not seeing my friends' benefits.
They're on the back burner.
There's never any overlap. Have you ever been stood up or stood someone up?
I have been stood up twice. I've never stood anyone up because I think it is not that hard to send a text. One of them, this was when I was living in Houston. I drove all the way to the bar. And then when I went to text him that I was there, we had like never gotten off the app. And when I went to text him that I was there, he had unmatched me, was gone. And I was like, could you have told me before I drove 45 minutes to this bar? Like, whatever. And then another time, it was this guy that he'd been kind of wishy-washy. And then we like made plans, but he made like definitive plans. He texted me, he sent me the restaurant. He said, meet me here Wednesday night, 8:00. And so he'd been a little wishy-washy, but he made definitive plans. So I was like, we'll go with it.
Yeah.
And then day of, I like didn't hear from him too much. I heard from him around like noon. And then around like 7:45, I texted him and I was like, hey, I haven't heard from you. I'm about to head out, whatever. And I just like didn't hear from him at all. So I was like, well, I'm not going to leave. The restaurant wasn't too far from my house. It was like maybe 5 minutes from my house.
Okay.
And so I was like, I'm not going to leave until I hear from him because I haven't heard from him in hours. And I never heard from him again.
I was stood up once and I did a get ready with me and a get dressed with me and I left it up.
Love it. Yeah, both of these were before
Nobody
I started.
asked for an update, so I just kind of, it was a no harm, no foul situation.
Amazing. Yeah, both of these were before I like did content.
Ago. We matched that morning and then he was like, let's go to dinner tonight. He told me to like meet him somewhere like 8 o'clock and like I started getting ready at 6 and like I was like ready to go and then like I was texting him. I was like, I'm about to leave and then he just like never answered and I like never left my house and he never texted me. So I was like, okay, like I was like, I never actually went. I got ready and I got dressed. I still count that as being stood up. I put in the work. Like
you got ready and you got dressed. Yeah. And you filmed to get ready with me and to get dressed with me.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I put in work.
Yeah, have you ever faked a date?
Yes.
When?
2 times for a brand deal.
I faked one for a brand deal. I was going to do it when I was actually getting ready for a date. And then the date that I was supposed to go on got canceled and I had deliverables to send over.
You have deliverables. Like, what are you going to do?
So, you know, it was going to be a real date, but then the date got canceled. So,
have you ever deleted Hinge and re-downloaded it?
1,000 times.
I've never deleted it. Is that weird?
So I'll be honest, I haven't deleted Hinge in a very long time, honestly. Mostly because I was never one to like delete the app. I was always like deleting my full account. And do you know how much work it is to recreate your account? I got out of a relationship about a year ago and I downloaded Hinge probably like last August or so, I would say. Have not deleted it since then.
Okay.
Although I am exposing myself here. One of my most viral videos ever was a screen recording of me deleting Hinge off my phone. And it was that Justin Bieber sound that's like, life is worth living. And it went viral and I felt like a scam because I never actually deleted it. I just screen recorded just enough of like me holding it down, me pressing delete. And then it pops up and it's like, would you like to delete this app? And then I stopped the screen recording. So I didn't actually delete it, but I literally went viral for deleting Hinge.
God, you poser.
Yeah.
Do you think that being delusional is necessary when dating in New York?
To an extent, yeah.
And dating in general?
To an extent, yeah, because I think you have to give people a lot of grace when it comes to, especially in New York. In New York, people are very busy. New York is a very like
work hard, play hard.
Yeah, work hard, play hard, career focused kind of situation. Mm-hmm. People are often working late. Like I know it's such a lame excuse. Hey, I have to work late. These finance bros, they actually are working late.
Yeah, they are.
Someone's got to pay for the Birkin. Like they are working late. And so I think like you have to give people a lot of grace. But as girls, that's kind of hard, right? Like we want to jump to conclusions very quickly and be like, oh, well, he sucks and he doesn't care about me and like blah blah blah. And so I think you have to be a little bit delusional to just be like, yeah, maybe he is working late, to just like give him the benefit of the doubt because like I think in New York, just the culture is very different than anywhere else that I've lived.
I also think that there's like a fine line between like hope and delusion. And I think like finding that line when you're dating in New York City or dating anywhere else where like you just have constant disappointments over and over and over again. I think there is a certain level of delusional you have to be
to keep going.
Because it is so hard. It is so hard. I have been put through the ringer. Every single way that you could be dumped, I have been dumped.
I consistently say that the men in my life keep coming up with new creative ways to like be the worst man I've ever dated.
No,
it's like they like gather together and take notes.
They're like,
and then they're like,
Kristen
okay, so I did this, and someone's like, ooh, that's good. I'm writing that down, but I do want to one up you.
Do you think content creation fuels your delusion? I think it doesn't for me.
No, I think it's a reality check.
My TikTok comments put me in check.
I think it's a reality check.
Like, I will like be like, oh, like it's a little weird that he did this, but I'm like ignoring it.
And your comments are like, red flag, red flag.
No, this is exactly what's gonna happen. And I'm like, oh, okay, like I'll keep it in the back of my mind, and then that's exactly what happens.
And it's really easy to write the comments off because you're like, oh, they don't know him. Oh, they're a stranger on the internet.
But
it turns out that all guys are the same.
So before we wrap up, let's get real about like what we actually want. Right? Do you actually want a relationship, or are you looking for some sort of external validation.
Yeah, I think at this point, I actually really do want a relationship. As I get older, dating gets a little bit more serious. And so I'm 24 now. I like to be married by the time I'm like 30-ish, ideally.
A girl would hope.
A girl can dream. And so it's like, yeah, if I want to be married by the time I'm 30, like if I'm going to be married within the next 6 years, I do have to be dating. I'm not saying I have to meet my husband tonight.
Right.
I'm not going to, but like I would like to be dating like with intention and somewhat seriously.
Right.
So I think it's like it's summer right now, so I'm not seriously on the hunt right now, but like because it's summer.
My best dating season was fall.
I wasn't here in the fall, so can't speak to that.
I don't know. It was really good. I was going on
Love
so
that.
many dates.
But fall is when people lock in. Summer, everyone's like we're outside.
But that's the thing. I think that's
rooftop.
what it is.
In the fall, people lock in.
I think that's what it is.
So
because I was getting asked on dates like literally every single day in fall. Like
Yeah.
I literally did not grocery shop for a month and a half.
that's amazing. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, it was great.
I'm gonna lock in the fall.
Yeah.
No, but I think I am actually looking for something. It's definitely not just content to me. I'm not going on dates just for content. I'm making content out of going on dates. So it's not just for content to me. I think I'm past the point of looking for that validation. I think for many years I was looking for that validation in men. Now I could care less what a man thinks about me. Like when a man has an opinion on me, I'm like, I didn't ask.
From the point that you moved to New York to now, has what you were looking for changed?
Yeah, definitely. When I first moved here, I wanted to date the entire city. I wanted to date the entire city with no intention of finding a boyfriend at all. Now it's like, yeah, I still want to go on a bunch of dates, but if one of them turns into something real, I would much rather be in a relationship than just date around.
I feel that. I think like exactly like what you just said. That's exactly how I would phrase it. You did a great job.
I think this was so fun. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being on.
Can you even see me right now? Is Mr. blocking me?
I can't tell, but I'll put Kristen's socials in the description so you guys can follow her. She posts great content.
Oh, thank you.
Promise. This was Diaries of a 20-something, episode 40. So thankful for everybody that you guys are on. Really appreciate the support always. But it is 11:30 at night. I have to be up early tomorrow to go to upstate New York, but I love you all and I will see you guys all next Friday. Mwah.